Live from Long Island. Ladies and gentlemen, it's March 31st, 2023, and this is Love, Death, and Taxes. We are going to talk about something I guess a lot of people probably think about. It's part of fate. It's part of, hey, is this the way it goes? Or what else should we expect? We're going to talk about finding the one. The one. Finding the one. We'll be right back. Do I look crazy enough today? I think I'm going to do something different today.
Why not?
Let's go for it. Hey. Just have a completely different personality today. What's up, people? How you doing? Today, I am your psychic Ryan. Call me now. Call me now. Do you know about that? You know that woman, Miss Cleo? Have you ever heard of Miss Cleo?
I heard of her.
Okay.
Didn't watch it, but I heard of her.
Exactly. They used to have this thing called the Psychic Network, and this woman who had a Jamaican accent, or supposedly Jamaican. Any Jamaican who listens to her, like, oh, she's not a real Jamaican. She's making it up. But she used to say, call me now, and talk about how, your love life and your money. It's really two things. It's either your money or your honey. That's what you talk about when you're talking to the psychic people, right? It's just those two things. Call me now. What else? What else would you talk to them about, right? Well, maybe your health, right? Am I gonna get better or whatever? But it was just usually your money.
I see that,
and your honey. And I can see that too. Like, even think about the name of our podcast. It's Love, Death, and Taxes, right? So it could be your money, it could be your honey. Today, I want to talk about fate and whether or not you can find the one, right? It's like the Matrix. Neo is
very deep. Yes.
Isn't that deep? That's deep, right?
Yes.
Call me now if you want to hear about the one. But no. What do you think about that, Agnes? Oh my gosh, my name is Ryan Williams. I run a marketing company called Social Marketing Associates. Yeah, I was on the roll. What did I eat today, right?
You are really invested in the subject. That's great. Yes.
Jamaicans would say, "Oh, he eat the chicken bati tonight." All right, grease your mouth. My name is Ryan O'Neill Williams, and I run a marketing company called Social Marketing Associates. And my lovely host over here, look, I got it this time. Look, it's not easy to do. My lovely host over here, co-host is Agnes Amasano of Tax Resolutions and Bookkeeping. And we are doing our little podcast. We call it Love, Death, and Taxes. And I hope people would come by and say hello. How are you doing, Agnes?
I'm wonderful. And it's okay. The nice things, little chit out of the way. Okay. What? Let's get into the subject. Let's get into
that subject. What do you think? Do you think there is the one out there for somebody?
Absolutely. I'm a true believer.
Absolutely. You do believe? Okay.
Yes.
So you think? So you think, like, out of the 8 billion people in the world, that there is one that's just for you, and that you can completely miss that person because maybe you're not in the same country with them, maybe you're not moving in the same circles. You could be in the same country and just not move in the same circles. Maybe you're already married.
Okay.
You're already married.
I have answers for all. I have answers for all of that.
Okay.
There is such thing as destiny.
Destiny. You believe so? Okay.
I'm a true believer. Destiny, fate, what's there for you, it's there. I am the living example of it.
Yeah.
Also, I am believer of the fact that people that we meet in our life, of course, when fall in love, oh, this is the one. Sometimes that person doesn't mean that you're going to grow old with that person, but that person has a role to play in your life.
You know, that I believe. That I think is definitely the case. Now, there's an interesting thing where I think it's not always necessary to be with. This is me, okay? This is just my opinion. I don't think it's necessary to be with the one. I think there are several people out here who could be your, quote unquote soulmate or whatever, but they could be very close to you that you love. But you're saying there can only be one.
We're not talking about the friend, the one and only friend, okay?
No, you're not talking about the one and only friend.
Describing a friend, someone close to you who can understand you, who can be there for you. That's a very good friend.
Yes.
Okay.
But you're saying that's not who we're talking about right now.
That friend is not going to fulfill certain emotional and other needs,
Yeah.
and that you will have. That's not what the friends are for. Friends are for understanding, for helping to give you shoulder to cry on. That's what the friends are for. The one is there to fulfill your emotional, spiritual needs, to that person. No one can stand in that person's shoes and give you what that person can give you. To me, the one is your other half.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
they're not going to be perfectly exactly the same as you. They're going to be in sync with you because they complete you. Is that what you're talking about?
Absolutely. They cannot be the same replication of you, because that will be a very boring relationship.
Yes,
Just my opinion, There has to be some challenge. There has to be some, they say that opposite attract.
Yes.
So
there's a whole song. It's everything.
So I cannot imagine that the person that I'm with, that is going to be exactly the same. The person D1 will be giving us understanding, fulfilling our emotional, spiritual needs, and respect, and the understanding, especially when you are with the person that is opposite to you.
Yes.
They have to understand that you have different interests. I told you that before, that for every couple that I married, I give them the 10 golden rules. And one of the paragraphs there, one of the rules is, walk as one, but don't lose your identity.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So again, but that's not what we're talking. So we're talking right now. I'm going into different subjects as of the relationship. But meeting the one, yes, I agree with you. That doesn't mean that it's going to be the one and only person in your life. But the real one, the true love, I think that's going to be the last person that you are with. Therefore, when you meet the one, the real one, you're not going to look any further, because okay, I have my human, I have the person. Yes, that's a real soulmate. See, we people do go through several relationships in their lifetimes. Not everyone is lucky to find the one from the very beginning.
No.
Yes, sometimes we find someone and then we lose touch with them, and we're thinking, oh my God, that was the person who got away.
Yes.
Wrong. If the person got away, there was a reason why they are not in your life.
They're not with you anymore. You think that there's a reason for these things. You don't think that I can be with the perfect person and somebody just messes up the relationship on purpose because they are jealous or whatever, and now my life is messed up. Because I know we are told all these beautiful things in Hollywood that eventually we're going to find the right person, perfect person. But I think it is quite possible for someone to come in mess up your relationship. And then you've got this problem where the person who you thought was the one and the person who thought you were the one, all of a sudden it's like looking at you sideways, like that meme. That meme is like, like I'm not sure about this guy anymore because someone put that into your brain. No, you think that
No,
if you're the one, and no matter what, they know it and never move away from it. Because
absolutely.
I think there are
Absolutely.
people who are wishy-washy.
No, 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 no. Listen, there's no such thing as a perfect relationship.
No.
People fight.
Yes.
People will separate sometimes and they will get
Mhm.
back together.
Mhm.
There are different relationships. But if you are with the right person, then there's always that little thing that keeps calling for them,
Mhm.
or like, or they will have that little thing inside of them. They're like, okay, I'm upset with them. I hate them, but I can't live without them. So there
Yeah.
will be a reason to sit down and say, you know what, okay, all this thing fall apart, but we want to be together. So what we're gonna do to build this back up?
I'm uh, uh, I am privy to some information about a person who thought that they found the one, like left another person and then
Mhm.
decided they found the one. And guess what? The one, a few years later, basically just said, you know what? I'm not interested anymore. I've got to move on. I was like, oh, so that person was not the one. You were so sure that you up and left your other relationship in order to go do this. And now,
Right? We all do the same thing.
yeah,
When we meet
grass
the
is greener on
person,
the other side, right?
we are infatuated, or we think that we're in love, or we are really in love with that person. No one is getting well, majority of people is not getting married for fun, spending money, you know, and, and say, okay, you're gonna be my 3-year project, so
Yeah,
let's get
do this for 3 years.
okay. Not too many people does that. Okay, every time you are in a relationship, you're moving in with someone, you're putting out the effort, you're opening joint bank accounts, and you have kids, and you have a house, and then a few years later it's gonna be yeah, you know what, you're not the one. You make
It's
me
not.
miserable, so
You make me
you
miserable.
are the one who makes me miserable, so I don't want to continue this, you know what I mean? So it's not so easy. This is a very complicated process of finding the person, that the true soulmate. At the beginning, everyone thinks that this is the person.
This is
I was
the.
very lucky personally when I thought that the person that I had feelings for and lost touch with, I found that person later. We reconnected, and that was instead, oh my God, the one that got away came back into my life. It was, whew, I dodged the bullet. So,
Because you found out that that person did not end up being the person you thought they were eventually. Like, yeah, that's the thing. You look through rose-colored glasses, and you think you're looking at these are not rose-colored guys unless you're
no,
yellow rose. But whatever, you get what I'm saying. The
yeah.
rose-colored glasses. You're looking at this person. You're thinking, oh my gosh, they're the greatest. They're the greatest. But that's I think that's a chemical reaction that our body plays like a little trick on us so that we can, forward the human race so we can have more kids and whatever it is. And we sometimes have to pump the brakes and figure it out. I look back now at my last long relationship and I'm like, oh my gosh, all the signs were there. All I had to do was pump the brakes and it would have done a different thing and gone a different way. But you don't think like that when you're in it. You're like
Now
your brain.
let me ask you a question, because there is a big difference in a in a process of choosing the one for a man and a woman?
I just need to say this just for the fun of it. Hold on, okay?
Yeah.
Carmino! Okay, go ahead. Process for a man and a woman. Go ahead.
How do you, what is your process of choosing the one?
All right, say that again.
What is your process of choosing the one? What are your
See,
signs?
that's the thing. I didn't think of them as the one. I thought maybe someone who is similar to me and is good. I think it is possible that there could be someone out there that is the perfect person. But there's so many people in the world. I might never find that person. I might spend my entire life searching. So I found someone who I thought was similar to me, that I found attractive, that I thought found me attractive, and that we had similar goals, and we were going to move forward like that. I actually took it. I guess I took it from a practical perspective, and then later on, like few months in, less than a year in, then I did that whole. Oh, that, by the way, we should talk about that.
Yeah.
Falling in love versus being in love or loving someone, right? There are two different things. And sometimes people say, I don't know what that means. What do you mean? You're not in love anymore versus you have love for the person. Because you can, love comes in all these different forms. And people sometimes are talking about, I don't understand. Which one is it? Did you love me or you fall in love with me? And there's this intense feeling that you can get, like in love thing, that blinds you to everything else. But when you're truly loving a person, you care for them. There's a saying. I think it's like, when you love a flower, when you're in love with something like a flower, you will pluck it so you have it with you, but it'll die. But if you love it, you would let it nurture and grow in the ground, right? So this is the different thing. It's like being so impulsive and wanting to have everything and the passion and the power, and then there is, I want to spend the rest of my life with you and build a foundation and do that and keep it moving like that. I think that's two different things. I'm not saying you can't have both. But sometimes if you don't feel one for a minute, it doesn't mean that everything is gone and done. I think you could cultivate the being in love. That's just me. What do you think? What do you think? You think that it's specific, that you have to find that one person in order to do it?
No, you can love.
No. I mean,
you love a lot of people in your life, one at a time.
Oh, yes, we can. A lot of people can love a lot of people. How me know?
When I got married, first time to the father of my son, I love the man. Of course, he was a wonderful, wonderful man who took care, who cared for me very deeply. He loved me. I'm sure he did. And everything was great until it wasn't. But he played an extremely important role in my life because thanks to him, I have my son.
Yes.
So that was a reason why he was in my life.
Yes.
Just because
also sometimes, you know what I learned? That sometimes the things that don't go well help me define the things that I do want. Like, I didn't realize that certain things would be a problem. And then you're like, oh, snap, I don't want that. I'm realizing I really don't want that. And so the next thing that you do, the next experience you have, is clarified, because now I don't want that thing.
Yes.
So sometimes, you kid.
But you have to learn on your mistakes. So
yes.
So my personal belief is that it's good to have some relationships before you find the one, because at least you know what works for you.
Right.
What do you like in your relationship? What are you expecting from a relationship? Do you want someone in charge? Do you want to be in charge? Do you want a team player? and there's a lot of things. Each of us will have different relationship in our life. And
Yeah.
at the beginning, oh no, someone has to be like you. You have to like the same things and do the same things, and then you find out it's boring, and then well,
That's
whatever.
boring.
Yeah.
I want to show somebody something and then they come to like it. And then they show me something and I like, oh, that is kind of cool. Let's figure that out. And then sometimes I don't want to do the same thing that they want to do. I want to be able to have my own thing and my own space to sometime and
Yes,
go off and do that other thing. So yeah, I
it's
think
important to do this to do things together, but it's also important to nurture yourself because see, um when I was younger, I made the same mistake like a lot of other people by saying, um, "Oh, you make me happy," you know.
mm,
So this is so nice. You make me happy. So I'm with someone because they make me happy.
yeah,
This is such a horrible, horrible thing to say to someone because this is too big of a responsibility to put on someone to make you happy. This is not
yeah.
anybody's responsibility. If you do not
That's
know who you are and what makes you happy and you cannot be happy yourself, how dare you put that
that's
responsibility on somebody's shoulders?
that's
That's
a
not love. That's
that's a
not love.
fascinating one. Like I didn't realize that was important because I have always, uh, and you know, this is going to sound like a boast, but I've always found happiness within myself. Like I've always been able to go and say, "Oh my gosh, this is a great experience," or "Let me enjoy this." Or even if you know something is messed up, I can go aside, get a nice book or whatever, and be like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that other people were depending on me and other people, not just me, for their happiness." I was like,
Yeah.
what? You're gonna put that on me? It's your happiness. What? I didn't realize that. It freaked me out. When I found out about that, I was like, oh snap. And then you know, like my I think it was my therapist who was pointing out that listen, some people need it from other people, but they should not. And it's a kind of immaturity, really. But that's what happened, ladies and gents. Call me now. Do you believe
Yeah.
in finding the one? If you do,
Yeah.
send a message over to mailbag at lovedeathandtaxes.com and let us know if you actually think that are you with the one? Do you know who the one is? Is he or she married to somebody else? Are you gonna go break up?
You want us to call them and let them know that they're the one for you?
Let's help them out. No, call me now. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I did tell you that before, but I want to share with everybody else that
Please.
when I met my husband, we met online, like
Mhm.
everybody else nowadays.
Yep.
But when we met first time in person, when he was approaching my car, I
Mhm.
had this premonition that I'm gonna be married to this man.
Wow.
That was 13 years ago.
Okay.
So it freaked me out a bit because we knew each other. We were talking for 2 weeks before we met. And
Mhm.
this is the first time I'm laying my eyes on this man, and he tells me, beside having his pictures, he tells me that that I have this feeling that I'm going to be married to him, and we could not be different. We are
And he
very
told
different.
you that. He told you that, or you told him
No, no,
that.
I
Which
told
one?
him. I had this premonition. When I look at him,
Mm.
I had this premonition. I told him later, this is not like, hi, I'm so. I just had a premonition that we're gonna be married. He would run. He would run.
Yes. Most men would run.
He would be like, this is a psycho. Bye.
You ever see the road runner and all the dirt kicks up behind him and
Yeah, 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 yeah,
just gonna see the dust and he's gone.
yeah.
Shoo!
But I'm at the stage in my life where actually I can say that yes, I finally found the one.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
fascinating. Fascinating. I thought I had too, so it's like a interesting thing to hear. But it's also it's nice to hear it though. It's like, hey, it's possible, and I think it's quite possible. I have another client who, oh, you know him too, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna embarrass him. But um, when I see him and his wife together, and they're an older couple, I see him and his wife together, I'm just like, oh my gosh, they
Oh, I know
found
what
that.
you're talking
You know what I'm
about.
talking about, right?
Yes,
Like,
yes,
oh my gosh, they found that thing, and
yes,
they move in sync, literally
yes,
move in sync. And I was just like,
absolutely.
oh my gosh. And I've, gone over and sat down with them because, I was doing research for their project
Hmm.
and spoken with them and met with them. And they're just like
Yep.
enjoying one another's company. And it's just a great thing. And you would think that after so many years that it would not be the case anymore, that people fall out of sync or whatever. But that's not the case with them.
Oh no,
It's
you can
really
see the
beautiful.
love between them, and they're
Yeah.
so at ease. There's this beautiful peace and
Yeah.
calmness, and they're so in sync. Yes,
Everybody knows their role and not worried
yes.
about what everybody else is doing, and it's just very calm. And I'm assuming there are many, many, many couples out there who are like that. So if you have found the one, congratulations. And if you believe in that, I mean, keep on keeping on, because the idea would be, if you put out that positive vibe out there, then more than likely it exists, right? And you can possibly find it. I'm just saying, it's 8 billion people, bro. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. It's very difficult. So what if she doesn't speak English and I can't communicate with her?
Then your role will be you will teach her.
Yes, I have to teach her English. She's like, you're actually my soulmate. She's like, what? I don't know. What are you saying, crazy man?
That's where charades come in handy.
Yeah, like I'm chasing after this person. She's like, now she's got the dust ball. And I'm like Pepe Le Pew, like sexually harassing her.
Yeah,
Please
you know
come
what?
back and live.
That's it. That's the thing, Brian, though. That when you meet the one, everything falls into place.
You think so?
I know
I,
so.
I gotta tell you, it sounds like a fantasy to me, but I guess it is possible, and it's very difficult to find. But I guess it is possible. I'm not going to say no that you have not, because clearly you are very, very, very much in love with your husband, and it seems to have found exactly that right sync that works. It's just,
He
man,
allows
it's
me to be my crazy self. And whenever I come to him and say, honey, what do you think about this idea, of that idea? He looks at me and goes, honey, you can do it. You have perfect personality for it. And then it's just like, I'm behind you. Go, do
one hundred
whatever.
percent,
Don't
one
get me
hundred
involved in it, but go and do it.
percent,
That's
absolutely,
a
absolutely.
beautiful thing. And you know why I know he thinks that I'm the one?
Hmm.
Because that was, and not too many men will come up with that. It was his idea to renew our vows on our 10th wedding anniversary. So you know what we're doing instead renewing, well, you know,
Yes, I
but
think he's just like a real romantic. That might be part of it, and he wants to make you happy. And I think that is part of, like, that is a quality that, if in every spouse that you found, that they just want to make the other person happy, then that'll make it work every single time. I don't even think you need to find the one, but if you two of you are doing that, like, consistently and constantly, that's the greatest thing in the world. If both of you are saying, I just want to make her happy, I just want to make him happy, or her, him, him, they, whatever pronoun you choose to
yeah,
use.
whatever.
Yeah, I'm just not.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a dumb. Okay,
To,
okay.
to be to be correct with
Yeah,
everything. It's
yeah.
only to
Please,
be correct. Okay,
please don't
I get it,
cancel
I
me.
get it.
Please don't cancel me.
Yeah.
Don't cancel me. Just call me now. Tell me, how about your your experience with the one because you believe it, you believe into it. Call me now. I mean, it turns out that she passed away. I didn't realize the woman who used to do that thing. Call
Really?
me now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she passed away like in the early 20 teens or so. Yeah, she and they had come after her at one point saying that they wanted her to pay back money because people were complaining that they made, but she was just the
And I
person
should
who
have
worked.
called her. Call me now.
Yeah, she just worked there. Pay me
Yeah.
now. She just worked there. There were two other
Mm,
dudes who were making a ton load of money. So
yeah.
it was
Things are
interesting.
happening.
But yeah, I mean, this is my call me now outfit. So next time we come with a psychic, come with and this is a real Jamaican accent, people. Okay, so next time you hear Miss Cleo, that's not what that is. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next time you all want to hear a psychic reading, just call me now and I will help you out. That would be crazy. We should do a psychic class. We could charge money for it. What those? Remember those 900 numbers? People used to charge so much money on those.
They still
Um,
are expensive.
yeah, it was ridiculous. But that was the thing. Like they were charging these people hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and then they would send a letter with Miss Cleo's name at the bottom saying, "Please send me my."
Have you ever called a psychic?
Nah, no. I think, as a dude, I guess it's one of those weird things where I had one for a client for many years, and I said to him, please don't ever tell me anything. I would prefer, if you actually are real, I prefer not to hear. And if you weren't real, I definitely don't want to hear. So please don't tell me anything. So yeah, I used to run his website
Mm-hmm.
and update it every week. He had like a radio show. It was interesting, but it wasn't. I never thought of that as being real. So yeah, I never really called in. But I know people who go like on a regular basis. And they don't refer to them as a psychic, they refer to them as a medium. And then the person will like,
Yeah, but the medium is different than a psychic.
is it? Is
Yeah.
it? I'm
Medium,
assuming
yeah,
a
medium is the
medium,
one that contacts
other people from the other realm,
from the
right?
other side. Yes.
Now, is it possible for a psychic to also be a medium? I guess that is the thing, because that was his thing. His thing was he was psychic, but a psychic medium. And so he could reach out and talk to you
Mhm.
and yeah, call me now. Let me tell you about your love life and your money
And your uncle who died 20 years.
and your uncle. Your uncle
You want
Steffi
to
tell you.
revive.
Your uncle Steffi tell you, moo. It's like, what? Oh my gosh, it's him. I know it's him. It's like, why do you know it's him? Oh, he used to call me Heifer. By the way, that's a real story. Like he
Oh
told
my
me that.
God. Oh my
He's like this one. He had a reading with this one woman, and he says, "Oh, I'm contacted by your mother," and she says, "Moo," and the woman, she just started crying. She was like, "Oh my gosh, oh, it's her for real. Oh, it's my mom." And he was like, what's going on?" I said, "He used to call me Heifer." Ah,
Well,
that
let
was
me ask you
wild.
a question. If I'll go to a medium and I want to contact someone from my family, um, this is such a bad thing now. I better not.
Call me now. My
I better
understanding
not
is,
finish.
what if some people started calling me right for? Thank God I didn't put a phone number up. But my understanding is that different people can get on the line, like the spiritual line,
Yeah, but
whatever.
there's a language difference. So
Yeah, like, that would be a problem. That different people like, oh, it's my turn. I want to talk through this medium or whatever it is, and then it become a problem. Yeah, but we're goofing on it, but I'm sure there are a lot of people who are like, this is real, and don't be silly and pay attention and call me now when I'm
yeah, I
ready.
went to a
So,
medium. I went
yeah.
to. I called a psychic for fun of it here once years ago. She
Uh-huh.
told me, well, She said, your husband's gonna be born in September. I was like, that's the only thing she told me.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
So that means that every dude who came to you who wasn't born in September,
Just
you
me, your date of
basically
birth next.
you don't even pay him attention. That's the first thing you
Yeah,
do.
I was looking for September guy.
Yeah.
And
That's what. So and you realize that that is technically, that's putting your finger on the scale, right? That's making it so that that happens in that way, as opposed to actually producing a true prophecy, right?
yeah.
By doing that, you're kind of forcing people to do it, and people do their self-fulfilling prophecies like that all the time. Oh my gosh, I wonder if he's gonna leave me. I wonder if he's gonna leave me. I wonder if he's gonna leave me. He comes in the room. He's like, why are you so depressed and so upset? I'm wondering if you're gonna leave me. Guess what? I don't want to hang out with someone who's like that. Bye. People don't realize that you create that kind of energy
Yeah.
in yourself. And if you don't believe, call me now and I'll straighten out the energy for you right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do
So,
that all day.
oh, but yes,
All right.
there is such thing as
You
finding
believe
the
that.
one.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Cool.
It's a real thing. And if you think that someone got away and it's supposed to be the one, remember it wasn't the one.
It wasn't the one.
It wasn't
Okay.
the one. It wasn't meant to be. There's no such thing. If that
But
person
see,
is not in your life, there was a reason for it.
that's not the way it works in the romantic comedy. Like every romantic comedy requires the trouble to come, and then you think it's not the right person, and then it works out in the end. All of a sudden, like a grand gesture has to happen, or there's a great conflict, and the person comes through, and you realize, oh yeah, he really is, or she really is the one. Isn't that the way it always works in the movie? No, this is really made this up.
Movies are movies. Real life is real life. So
Is
there's
that
a
real?
difference. Yeah, yeah. There's a little difference. Yes,
Tell me no.
you saw this person, infatuation kicks in, and oh my God, that person makes me happy and everything. And guess what? You're meeting that person 10 years later, and that person mentally is still 10 years before, or no ambitions, no progress in life, and like, holy moly, I dodged a bullet.
This is probably very, very true. No
Yeah.
question. No question. I do know some people who was like, oh yeah, really? I didn't realize that at all. There's some pictures going around online. Oh my gosh, you know what? Let me not even. That's so rude. but,
Okay.
well, there's this woman who looks very different now than she did 20 years ago when she was on TV. She was an actress. She was on TV. And now she looks very different. And there's a whole meme that they have a picture of her when she was on TV, when she was in her 20s, and a picture of her now. I guess she's maybe in her 60s or whatever. And the picture is like, when you wanted her, that's a cute picture. And then when she wanted you, it's the picture of her and becoming a different person. Basically, it looks like a different person.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the picture, I can't recognize the person anymore. And I'm like, oh my gosh, who is that? And then someone had to point it out to me online. But yeah, in general, yeah, I think it is possible. I'm gonna give it to you, all right, that there can be the one, but I don't know if I'm gonna wait on that person like the whole time. Oh, we got some comments. Hold on, let me see. Eileen says hello. Eileen, it's funny. Hi, Eileen. Yeah, we don't come on. We don't do this a lot, but I showed up today and I just had this thought in my head because it was just this weird thing where I was like, what? What do you mean? It's just a different kind of vibe today, and I thought, let me talk about that. And I mean, you can. I think it is possible for you to find the one. I just don't know whether or not.
Usually you find them when you're not when you are not stressing about looking.
That's the thing. When you're not looking, that's when it actually happens too.
Yes,
That's a whole,
absolutely.
like, what do they call that? Law of attraction thing. You become the person you're supposed to be, or who the person you want. If you become the person that you want, see, but then we're doing the boring thing that you were talking about. But if you become the type of person that you want, kind and loving and and generous and wanting to always make the other person happy, they're saying that that is when you start to attract that same type of person.
Well,
All right.
when you are searching urgently, you're becoming a little bit of frantic. Yeah, it's like, excuse me, just like if I'll be looking for someone who was married, who was born in September. Excuse me, don't you next
You're
week,
born in October. I'm sorry.
you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't when you're looking for someone and you're like you're getting stressed.
Can you
You are
imagine?
not
You put that, you put that on the dating app. If not born in September, need not apply. Just put that on the door. Swipe left.
so that's the whole thing. When we are more attractive, we are more appealing to others when we are ourselves, nice and calm and projecting the positive vibes instead of being
Absolutely.
frantic and chaotic.
Absolutely. I would think so.
Hello, I'm on the market. Just come get me, come get me, come get me. It's like that doesn't work. That doesn't work.
That's not where you want to go. You want to leave it be. Leave it be. But
Very
yeah.
quickly, I'll tell you just one thing. Like when in my 20s, I was going out to this nightclub with my girlfriends,
Oh my
and you
God.
had two. You have two different groups of women that I noticed. Those
Okay.
young, beautiful girls. One evening, there's a group like everything was immaculate: the hair, the makeup, the the nails, and everything. And they were just standing and looking. Who's looking? Okay, I'm looking at someone who is looking at me, and I'm getting attention. And there is a bunch of 40-year-olds. They came to
What
us.
is love? You at the club.
Yes. Yes.
What is love? Baby,
And there
don't
was
hurt me.
and there was a bunch of 40-year-olds came to celebrate one of the birthdays. And trust me, they didn't care how they look like. They didn't care about their makeup or anything. And they had fun. They were themselves and they had fun. They got all the attention
Yeah.
from those young boys and the ones that they were like, okay, I'm perfect. And okay, they were just standing there.
Yeah.
So being yourself, that's the best. Yes.
That is absolutely the best. And then go and just enjoy yourself. And people will be drawn in. That is so true. That is so true. What is love? Just go and enjoy yourself and have a good time and dance.
I love that song.
You love that song?
I love that song.
You remember those two guys who used to do that show? That thing where like, and they would just, and if they'd find a girl and both of them would go on one side, both of them.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
it was Chris Kattan, and then what was the other guy? The other guy's like a
the tall guy.
yeah, he's like a big star now, like super. Chris Kattan is a great comedian too, but the two of them together,
Yes.
they got a movie for that. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me, don't hurt me. Instead of hurting me, just call me now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gone way over. Normally we do this show about 30 minutes. We've gone 43 minutes because we were having a good time. I hope you had a good time. If you are interested in talking to us or sending us some email about the show, you want to have a specific thing you'd like to talk about, you could reach out to us at mailbag@lovedeathandtaxes.com. Just so you know, Agnes Amasano, she's in tax season right now. Okay, so don't be calling her. Well, do you want people to call? Is it a good time for them to call you about their taxes, their messed up taxes right now?
Absolutely. There's always a good time to do that.
It's always a good time. Okay, so you want to go to Agnes the Tax Pro on Facebook, or you are on Instagram, or you can go to nytaxresolutions.com. She's got a form right there, and all you have to do is put in your information so that she can get it and help you with your overdue, way overdue, the calls from the IRS, the calls from New York State. You want to get rid of those. That is the person. Sorry. That is the person you need to talk to, right over there. It's not easy, Agnes. You'd
No,
be
it's not.
surprised.
I know.
It's like being in a mirror. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the person you need to talk to right there, and she will help you with that. Straighten all of that out. We are finishing up on her website right now. I think you guys are going to love it. But more importantly, yeah, you can still go to the form. If you were in dire help and you're freaking out about getting the calls and don't know what to do, that is the person. That is the person right there that you need to call. Also, part of the reason why we talk about love, death, and taxes is because Agnes is also a. Can you explain it, Agnes? So, are you're an ordained minister, but also you assist people in their relationships, right?
I'm a relationship coach
Mm-hmm.
and yes, and a reverend. So I'm wedding officiant with the title of a reverend. Yes.
Okay. So when if someone comes to you and they say they take you aside and they're like, the husband, for example, he's like, yo, Agnes, I don't think she's the one. What do you say? What would you tell him?
Well, I do sit them down before, and I usually we start talking about the relationship.
Yeah.
How did you meet and everything else? So that you get a feel of if people are having problems or not. I
Yeah.
did have one couple
Mm-hmm.
that they actually broke up after visiting me. So, because one of the parties were paying too much attention to other things.
Ixnay.
So I guess one of the future spouses was like, we're supposed to be talking about our wedding. Why are you paying so much attention to the to the reverend? That was the end of the marriage. Uh, so there are different situations. Sometimes it's surprising how people find each other and decide to get married. But
Yeah.
that's you know not for us to decide, not for us to judge.
No, of course not. Yeah, I mean, let people do whatever they want to do. And like you said,
Yeah.
most people aren't doing it for just the fun of it. But guess what? There are probably a few who do. Hey, let's get married. Let's just do this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, see, they're calling you right away. So it is. Ladies and gentlemen, same bat time, same bat channel. Love, death, and taxes. I want to say a special shout out to Eileen Wall, who is always saying good morning to me on I Love Babylon, and came over and said hello today and stayed with us for the majority of the show as we were goofing off over here. And so thank you guys very, very much for listening to Love, Death, and Taxes. Same bat channel, same bat time next week. I'll talk to you guys very soon. Thank you, Agnes.
See you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.